3 seconds, one video clip, and one lie forced to look like the truth. In those few seconds, January 2026 once again exposed the most fragile side of global fandom culture. How fragments of images, stripped of context and responsibility, can turn into weapons. Not to protect idols, but to hurt them. This is the moment when noise drowns out facts, and emotion defeats common sense. Hello everyone. At the beginning of 2026, the vkook TV channel chose to speak calmly, yet firmly, about something that is actually simple but deliberately made complicated. A major misunderstanding born from the latest program, Are You Sure?, which then grew into a false narrative widely circulated on social media. The problem is not the show itself. The problem lies in how some fans cut, edit, and twist the footage until reality loses its original shape. The person most affected by all of this is Jungkook, someone who never asked to become material for speculation, let alone a victim of misinformation. Yet his name is once again dragged in, distorted, and forced into a story he never created. Let's talk about facts. After the filming process of the episode in Siulya, there was one brief moment, very brief, when Jimin, in a joking tone, asked Jungkook to take him home. There was no dramatic music, no excessive camera focus, and most importantly, no emotional response from Jungkook. He stayed silent. He pretended not to hear. The joke died on the spot. But for some people, that silence was interpreted as something else. It was cut, magnified, and given a narrative as if there were hidden meanings. When in reality, it was simple. It was just a joke that was not responded to. The next scene is even clearer. In another moment, Jimin made a brief gesture, almost like an offhand remark, as if he and Jungkook had spent the night together. The gesture lasted only a few seconds. And before viewers' imaginations could run wild, Jungkook immediately interrupted. He explained that he was with Taeyong. Jimin's reaction looked awkward. The conversation stopped. That was not a confession. That was not a code. That was not a confirmation. It was a correction. A correction that was very clear, very direct, and very intentional. Jungkook stopped the wrong narrative before it could grow. He did not laugh. He did not allow ambiguity. He chose brief honesty. But this is where manipulation began. Some Jimin fans took separate video clips, mixed them with old footage, and edited them to make it appear as if Jungkook and Jimin were living or sleeping together. This manipulation became worse when scenes from Switzerland were added. In reality, the conversation in Switzerland had nothing to do with a personal relationship. It was about Jungkook's military service. The phrase, "Wait, we can talk," spoken by Jungkook, was not an emotional expression, but a firm statement that he wanted to explain the context properly. Yet once again, that context was deliberately removed. Throughout the show, one major fact was continuously ignored. They were never alone. There were always staff members, always crew. They did stay in the same house, but that house was a production location. Everyone slept there, crew, staff, equipment. There was no private space, no hidden time, no secret moments. Every narrative claiming otherwise is not interpretation, it is manipulation. For Jimin fans, this pattern is actually nothing new. Distortions like this have been happening for years. But now, the contradiction is becoming clearer, especially when efforts to protect a certain pairing directly collide with facts that were broadcast in full. Ironically, this program actually confirmed the truth, especially when Jimin and Jungkook's relationship was later officially confirmed and acknowledged by the company. That fact did not appear out of nowhere. It was always there. Some people simply chose to close their eyes. This article is not an attack. It is a correction, because it is exhausting to see people defending ideas that were never true from the beginning. Fabricated stories will not change what the camera has recorded. Reality cannot be re-edited just because it does not match personal desires. And when one lie collapses, another is attempted. In recent days, an old rumor that had long been debunked resurfaced, this time more extreme. Variety show footage was edited by removing the tattoo on Jungkook's arm, then linking it to Unter, building a completely fictional story. In fact, verification is very easy. If that tattoo truly existed, it would be clearly visible in Jungkook's latest gym blog. In that video, Taeyong stands beside him with bright and close body shots. There is no additional tattoo. There never was. Once again, the rumor collapses under facts. What is most suspicious is the timing. This rumor appeared just a few hours after the announcement of HYBE's stock freeze. Too precise to be called a coincidence. Every time there is an external controversy, Jungkook's name is used again as a diversion, and Taeyong once again is used as a shield. The pattern repeats, and it becomes clearer. Speaking of tattoos, the public should already be very familiar with Jungkook's own tattoos, especially the V symbol. This tattoo is not a secret. It has been part of Jungkook's image for years. One of the most recent proofs is clearly visible in the Battley Dance Challenge. Natural, not hidden, not edited. Jungkook is not the type of person who expresses feelings through long words. He speaks through actions, gestures, and small details. Those who have followed the dynamic between Taeyong and Jungkook for a long time understand this without excessive explanation. For years, their closeness has never changed direction. It is consistent, not faded by time, not shaken by distance. Every meeting, every habit, every small gesture leads to one conclusion: a genuine connection. A relationship like this does not need proof. It lives in silence. Even though lately Taeyong has rarely been seen with Jungkook in public, that does not mean something is missing. Their intimacy is not measured by frequency of appearances, but by a foundation that was formed long ago. There are open phases, there are quiet phases, but the essence never changes. Jungkook shows the same communication pattern: measured actions, subtle attention, and consistent gestures, always directed at one person. For those who are observant, these details are impossible to miss. There is no image-making. There is no coercion. Everything grows from real habits and genuine closeness. When they meet again, the message is always the same: nothing is replaceable. And for honest observers, that sincerity is felt without the need for additional narratives. In the end, reality does not need to be adjusted to fit anyone's ideals. What was shown by the program, Are You Sure, is already clear enough for those who watched it in full. The rest is merely the result of twisted fragments. Being a fan means protecting, not pressuring. Understanding, not manipulating. Jungkook has repeatedly shown a firm yet calm stance in facing false narratives. He does not choose confrontation. He chooses boundaries, and those boundaries should be respected. A real relationship is not fragile because of rumors. On the contrary, it becomes clearer when faced with lies. Time is always the most honest filter. Many stories come and go, but gestures, habits, and consistent dynamics remain. This is Taeyong and Jungkook. And now there is nothing left to prove. What remains is only one choice: to respect reality, or to continue living in noise of one's own making. Because in the end, a real relationship does not need a loud voice to survive.